Melatonin-free night-night sleep aid. How would you like to have a nice night of sleep but not have grogginess from melatonin? Some people don't like melatonin. Some people are on medication that they can't take it. Some people are just kind of afraid of it because melatonin has been in some circles discussed as something that you shouldn't use. For whatever your personal reason is, a lot of people are looking for melatonin-free pre-workouts these days. And if you're a melatonin user, this is not meant to scare you. I use it on and off, but some people are looking to use it less, right? Maybe take a month away from it. And night-night is definitely a possible usage for that. But night-night doesn't only have merits of usage because of its lack of melatonin. It's also a great formula for a lot of other reasons that should persuade you to purchase it other than the lacking of a popular ingredient. So night-night is going to be Armbrace's new night sleep aid support. I got to try this a couple times before doing this video. I'm a big fan of it. It is a botanical heavy product. So we're going to talk about what those botanicals do. We're going to talk about there's a very strong product and strong flavor and why that is, what these do, why these cause a flavor like this. I thoroughly enjoy both of these flavors, but I think that a lot of people should know that when you come to buy one of these, it's not going to be your light pre-workout flavor. It's a deep, rich texture. And so take that into consideration, because I think that a lot of people are really going to like the very cherry berry, whereas the lemon chamomile is really nice if you warm it up. I consider it to be like a seasonal flavor versus like a daily driver flavor, like very cherry berry. I'm gonna have a hard time seeing that in this video. Like a cherry berry flavor would be common in pre-workout, maybe not called cherry berry, but those flavor notes, whereas chamomile lemon is a very like rich, cool flavor that I really like to put in a mug and warm up. But I don't know if I would use every single night. So I use it as kind of like a way to break up these flavors, because as you guys could imagine, every day you take like a fruity, strong pre-workout, you take intra-workout, you take hydration, you take all these different stuff, kind of like breaking up that monotony with lemon chamomile. But anyway, let's get into the science of it. I think that a lot of people are here to talk about why the product works. So off top, we're actually going to talk in the daily value section, magnesium in this product. Normally I don't talk a lot about daily value stuff and a lot of like pre-workouts. We don't talk really about the B vitamins unless they're a bad form. But in a sleep aid, magnesium is very important. A lot of people used to take ZMA pre-bed, which is, you know, a zinc and magnesium and vitamin B6 product. So magnesium here is one of the most important ingredients when it comes to sleep. And if you're going to be pulling out melatonin, which is probably the single most used single ingredient sleep aid, you definitely have to come at it with a bunch of strong other ingredients like magnesium bisglycinate chelate. So this is a chelated magnesium. If you watch any videos from us about minerals, we often talk about preferring chelated minerals in many cases. So what they're doing here is, because minerals are not very bioavailable, they bond them, they kind of surround it with an amino acid, and that's easier. Our bodies digest amino acids very well, and that's an easy way to get the mineral into our body, kind of like a little Trojan horse. So magnesium is used for a lot of different things. You know, me in my hydrate videos, I talk about how important it is for athletes, but it's also really often used to promote sleep and reduce symptoms of anxiety. There's a product called Magnesium Calm on the market. It gives you the best idea of what magnesium can do for most people. It can bring you down and calm you a little bit. And glycine also is something that we have to talk about in that, because this is a magnesium bisglycinate. So there's a bunch of glycine in there, and glycine is also an active ingredient in this product. So there's kind of like a 2-for-1 here. Now, magnesium deficiency causes hypothalamic pituitary axis hyperactivity. So magnesium deficiency is actually a quite common issue for a lot of people, and that can play into this whole thing here. We're talking psychological problems, including sleep disturbances, upregulating stress hormone like cortisol and adrenaline. Now, cortisol is very important for what wakes you up in the morning. So as you can imagine, upregulating that is going to be an issue if you're trying to get good sleep at night. So just to drive the point home, about 50% of America is deficient in magnesium on average. So whether or not you're taking this for sleep, this is going to be an important mineral that most people are not getting in enough of. Probably a good chance to get some in. Now, on the other half of that, we've got 3 extra grams of glycine. By my math, we have about 800 milligrams of glycine from that magnesium as well. Now, the therapeutic dosage for glycine is going to be 3 grams. They're not straight up saying this here, but I'm expecting to get about 3.8 grams because of that magnesium. But we've already satisfied the therapeutic dosage by that 3. I'm always happy with more. Now, glycine is a conditionally essential amino acid, meaning it's not always essential, but our body can create it, but we definitely don't have enough of it, so you should be getting some more of it. It's actually important for GABAergic neurotransmission, GABA being a quite depressive, it's a calming neurotransmitter. It helps calm our central nervous system so that we can get down to sleep. Now, something else that's actually considered to be an actual depressant, chamomile, on the other side of this, don't worry, it's actually quite antidepressant in some cases. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but in terms of stimulants versus depressive, this is something that's going to bring you down. Chamomile here is standardized for apigenin, a very potent sleep aid product here. Also some muscle growth claims as well to talk about. Now, chamomile in European folk culture has been used for hundreds of years to deal with things such as chronic inflammation, sleeplessness, obviously, muscle spasms, digestive upset, menstrual pain, and fever. Now, like I said, one of the flavonoids that's actually standardized for in here, but is very popular in chamomile is going to be that apigenin. This actually activates benzodiazepine in the brain and downregulates central nervous system activity, like I said. In a double-blind placebo-controlled study in 2011, 34 insomnia patients were randomized to either placebo or 270 milligrams of chamomile extract daily. We have a full gram of it here. The chamomile group was falling asleep significantly faster than the placebo group and also woke up less frequently. So we've got like 3 times as much of that in here more. I can imagine it's working. Like I said, we call this a depressant, but actually on the Hamilton Depression Rating Scale, this is a questionnaire that actually attempts to quantify severity of depression systems. More than one study has found extracts ranging from 500 to 1500 milligrams. Now, remember, we have a gram of it here, so it's in that range. Actually improved scores on that depression scoring test. Now, apigenin does some other things I don't want to get too far into, but if you're an athlete or bodybuilder trying to use this product, I think that this is important. It is an aromatase inhibitor, so it's actually going to help you get rid of a little bit of excess estrogen, which is always nice. Most men are looking to lose some estrogen. I caution everyone to not worry about it too much. Estrogen is important in a lot of cases. It's actually part of aggression. It's definitely a part of hypertrophy, but having too much of it obviously is an issue. But apigenin actually inhibits CD38 and increases NAD levels. NAD is something that our body uses to create ATP, very important for athletics. So again, maybe not directly important for sleep, but it has some sleep benefits, and it also does this. It helps with our ATP production, which is super important as that's probably the most basic unit of energy that we can identify for ourselves. Now, the NAD plus to NADH ratio in our body is something that changes over time. We have more NADH and less NAD. That can lead to slower mental clarity and things like that. Improving our NAD plus pools is always a good case for that, so apigenin obviously is very helpful in that way. Now, KSM66 is the next ingredient here. This is one of those ingredients that I think in 2019 was in almost everything. It kind of went away for a little bit, but we're super excited to see this ingredient in a sleep aid because it helps lower cortisol. Everyone who's used ashwagandha, I think most people in 2020 were using ashwagandha to deal with stress. Brings down the cortisol, brings down stress, and helps you sleep better. But also at this dosage of 600 milligrams, you're going to see testosterone and fertility boosting, athletic benefits in strength, muscle, and recovery. Again, super cool product for actual athletes to be using. And of course, mental health support. It helps out with stress, which is always I don't know about you guys, but a concern when I'm trying to go to sleep and all I can think about is things that I have to be doing for work, like these videos. From there, we hit Xylaria, a very popular and up-and-coming sleep aid from New Live Sciences. You may recognize that from Astrogen, Synactive, a couple other ingredients that we talk about quite frequently here. 500 milligrams is the dosage that's recommended from New Live Sciences for their sleep aid product. We're going to capitalize on sedating and mood-promoting capabilities of this ingredient here. Now, the composition of this ingredient is actually loaded with a couple different bioactive compounds, including sesquiterpenes, faminoxin alcohol, GABA, and glutamate D-carboxylase. There's a lot of data on this one. I've actually done a full deep dive on this ingredient, so I'm not going to talk too far on this one because we'd be here for another 20 minutes. But this is going to let you know this is going to be supporting better sleep. Probably the most general basic claim for a sleep product is promotes better sleep. It's going to also promote brain function in models of sleep deprivation. So if you're not sleeping well, this is going to help you function better without sleeping as much. Also, I should tell you to sleep more. But if you can't, sometimes a sleep aid like this will help you get the better sleep and maybe help bridge that gap until you can. And again, a common theme here is it also helps out with antidepressant action. I don't find this to be all that unreasonable because if I don't sleep well, I'm definitely not happy. From there, we actually get 450 milligrams of valerian root. Now, when I was kind of researching through some of our blog posts, valerian root is also in another product that we use from Arms Race. I actually use a lot is the Clarity. Now, Clarity was a mental health product, and now actually the active in here, valerianic acid, is going to be activating GABA receptors. Similar to some of the other ingredients that we've talked about, GABA is going to be a big neurotransmitter that we're working on for sleep because it is the neurotransmitter that brings us down, as opposed to maybe a norepinephrine and adrenaline. This is going to bring us down, whereas those will bring us up. A 2011 study from the Journal of Complementary and Integrative Medicine saw decreased symptoms of obsessive compulsive disorder when using this daily, which I found kind of interesting. Now we're rounding out on the back end here, and we've got Magnolia Bark, and this is actually standardized for 2 things. First one is going to be Magnolol, and the second is going to be Hinokiol. Now, Magnolia Bark has anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antibiotic, anti-cancer, antimicrobial, neuroprotective effects due to these 2 neolignans. This extract is actually very effective at lowering cortisol levels, stress, anxiety, depression, improving mood, and overall sense of well-being. These all sound like things that do better when I sleep better, to be honest with you. Again, I do think that not only are they improving these things, but they're also giving you better sleep, which makes those things better. just me interpreting on n equals 1. This is just my anecdotes, but I think it's helpful to add. The main mechanism that you're going to see this working through is inhibition of 11 beta HSD, which is going to prevent that enzyme from creating cortisol out of various different substrates. So again, we're having a couple different pathways here dealing with cutting out cortisol, helping you get to sleep, stress less, worry less, sleep better. Now, the last ingredient we have in here is going to be L-theanine. At 200 milligrams, it's not a huge dosage of it, but this is definitely enough to kind of just sedate you and bring you down. Now, sometimes when we talk about theanine, we're talking about it in pre-workouts, and there's a synergy of it with caffeine. There's no caffeine in here, so we're definitely looking at the sedating benefits of theanine that most people are afraid of in that pre-workout setting, but I definitely bet are going to be very welcome in a sleep aid. So that's the whole formula there. I think it's rather straightforward, but also very different in a lot of ways from other companies. I appreciate the things that they've done here. I appreciate a couple of little twists in there, and I definitely enjoy using the product. Like I said before, the very cherry berry, I said it right this time. That's my daily driver. The lemon chamomile, I use this to break up the sweet flavors. I like to microwave this one, make it a little warm, or maybe heat up some water if you're not a microwave person. As always, guys, I got to say, I got these for free. We do have a business affiliate relationship with Core and Arms Race and America, the Crush It brands. But as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope this helps your buying decision. Have a great day.